I have been thinking about a well-kept secret that we rarely talk about, which is imposter syndrome. So, to define what that is, I looked up the definition. Imposter syndrome is referred to an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. Wow, that is amazing, right? You know those feelings of doubt, inadequacy, or believing that you won't be successful in the endeavors or the things that you're doing, such as a new job or getting promoted or starting a business or starting college or sitting on a new board. You know those things, those feelings that we get. Doesn't that sound like stinking thinking from my last video? I think they're definitely closely related. And I honestly think that it's normal for us, for some of us to feel that way, especially based on the things that I just named when you're starting something new. But the amazing part of it is we have these feelings, even though we may be educated, we may have the experience, we may have great accomplishments. So sometimes you feel like you're receiving too much credit for success and your competence, thinking that you were just lucky or someone favored you upon hire or getting promoted. I know I have felt that way in my career from time to time, and I've really never talked to anyone about it. I think my root cause, however, was perfectionism, or being a perfectionist. Again, I had some stinking thinking thoughts, as I thought I had to have all the answers as an HR professional that's been in HR for a long, long time. And I thought I couldn't make any mistakes. Crazy, right? Everyone makes mistakes. I don't know why I was thinking that way. I have come a long ways and I am in recovery for sure. I hate to break the bad news to you though. There are no quick fixes. There is no quick pill to take to stop you from having these feelings. However, there are some things that you can do to reduce those feelings over time. And I mentioned them in my last video on reversing stinking thinking. If you want to go back to my playlist to look at that last video, I think that will be helpful. But as a quick summary, the first thing that I stated in that video is to reframe your negative thinking into positive thoughts. I also talked about developing or stating affirmations that focus on your successes, and give yourself time to learn that new thing, whatever it is. The goal is to eventually get past those imposter syndrome feelings and figure out and stop dwelling on them for sure. And then you want to make sure that you are not letting them paralyze your thoughts. So it's also helpful to talk to a trusted friend, family member, a mentor. Those are helpful as well. Or you may eventually need to talk to a therapist, and nothing is wrong with that. Someone that you can open up to, talk through your feelings. So sometimes it's just helpful to hear another person's perspective as well. You may also just need them to point you to more resources or skills that you can learn to become more competent in the area that you're not as competent or confident in. So I know imposter syndrome can affect us or impact us differently. So I want to hear from you. What percentage of people do you think experience imposter syndrome? And what gender do you think imposter syndrome impacts the most? Drop your answers in the comments section below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, and I will reveal the answer at the end of this video. So one last thought that I have been kind of curious about, especially when it comes to imposter syndrome, is the impact on the generations. I'm not trying to overgeneralize or shade Generation X and before, but I know, speaking of my Generation X, I think that generation tends to bottle up our feelings, and we just work hard, work to combat those feelings. But I'm curious to understand how Gen Z, millennials think about imposter syndrome. So another thing for you to drop a comment below, and hopefully we can get a good conversation going in the comments section. As a final thought, try not to buy into thinking that you're a fake or you're a fraud or that someone's going to find you out soon. Sometimes you just have to do things scared, and that's fine, or fake it till you make it. And to go back to the answer that I asked a few moments ago, up to 70% of people experience imposter syndrome, and more women experience it than men. Not saying men don't experience it, they certainly do, but more women are impacted by it than men. Thank you for watching, and see you on the other side of HR.